And hello there, everybody. Greetings and welcome to this brand new edition of the You ORNS pre-match. Yes, 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 indeed. Absolutely excited to be here on this Saturday morning. Yeah, it's been a while, isn't it, since we last made acquaintance, you and I. Greetings, fellow Watford supporters. It is terrific to see you all. I do hope that you are well. Oh, my goodness me. That is great to see you all here. Thank you very much for coming along on Instagram and on YouTube at the You ORNS WFC YouTube channel. Always good to have you aboard here as we get ready for Derby County versus Watford today. Yes, indeed, it is one of those kinds of days where you wonder about how this team is going to come out. I think you do every time, don't you? With Watford, we love this club so very much, and we of course hope that they will perform today in a lot better manner than they have of late. But it is really good to see that Watford have a great lineup today. I think this lineup today is a really good one. Excited about the prospects of this lineup, and we'll see how they fare today against Derby County, a team in the bottom seven, I think it is now, in the Championship. Watford at the moment looking to move themselves ever closer to those playoffs. They're just literally about 2 or 3 points away from the playoffs at the moment. And I must say that it would be really good to see Watford get something out of this game today. Watford, look, they've got an opportunity here to put something right away from home. They did not play well against Cardiff, but they did get the point that they got. Very important. And I think that if Watford can continue to play, I think, with what they showed you the last 15 minutes of the last game, then I think things will not be so bad for us today. It's been a long time since we've seen Watford get the kinds of, I think, good performances away from home. And I'm hoping that we can get something today that will befit our performances and what we've done. I think that Watford today can actually do something quite good. I like this lineup. Jonathan Bond, of course, in goal, and he will be for the foreseeable future, as you know. And then we've got the likes of TDB returning to us. I think that that's a very good shot in the arm for us. TDB has been a player who's shown you some real great pedigree this season when he's been on the pitch. But it's been a long, long time, hasn't it? It's been 3 months, almost exactly 3 months since TDB last played. That would have been against Luton Town on October the 19th or thereabouts, maybe October 18th. So that would make it exactly 3 months ago today that TDB has returned, that he last played. J4 Kerry Richardson, or Joker. Okay, Joker Richardson has joined us. Thank you on Instagram. I hope you are well and nice to see you there. Ryan Doob has joined us as well, and that would be on YouTube. Good afternoon, says Ryan on YouTube. I hope Watford can win. I've been a Watford fan myself since the 2014-2015 season. I'm also a Watford season ticket holder. Thanks. Ryan, thank you very much for that message on YouTube this afternoon. And welcome to You ORNS WFC pre-match. You can find it, of course, here on YouTube at You ORNS WFC. So please subscribe here, and you can, of course, like the videos. Would appreciate that as well. My name is Omar. It's a great privilege to speak with fellow Watford supporters. I'm here in California, and it's great to see you all, whether you're on YouTube, whether you are on Instagram, or whether you're on X, where we will be later on after the game. And we'll also be back here after the game as well with the post match. So it is great to see you. Thank you very much for watching. Ryan says, I've subscribed to your channel already last week. Thank you, Ryan, for doing that. That's really, really appreciated. Thank you, Ryan, and continue to keep watching. It's great to see you, and tell your fellow Watford friends alike as well about this channel, and tell your friends at large about this channel. Thank you, Ryan, for your subscription to this YouTube channel. Niall has joined us. Niall Gill. Hello, Niall. Hope you're well on this Saturday afternoon. It is just after 2:15 in the United Kingdom. My name is Omar. You're watching You ORNS pre-match, You ORNS Watford pre-match. because we are, of course, 45 minutes, just under 45 minutes away now from Derby County versus Watford at Pride Park. And let's just talk about this lineup for a minute. It's good to see you all. Hope you're well. Let's talk about this lineup for a moment. The lineup today does not have Georgie in it. Georgie Chakfatazda is out with a hamstring issue. The statement that was made today from Cleves was that there is a hope that he will be okay and will not be out too long, and that they'll have him back soon. Now, that's a very, I don't want to say it's a couched statement, but I would say that it probably gives you an idea that he may miss another game after this. No way of knowing that for sure, but hamstrings are always tricky. I think anyone who's had a hamstring injury, if you've had one, I know I've had 2 or 3 of them when playing sports, and I'm talking about in the recent last few years in playing sports. They're very troublesome. You need to really rest that hamstring, and I don't know to the degree of what the hamstring issue is for Georgie, but when you hear hamstring issue, that can say maybe 2 games, maybe 3 games. It's hard to say. It depends on what the nature of the issue and how severe or serious it is. For example, with someone like Bukayo Saka, for Arsenal, for example, his was very, very serious, and he's out for months. Now, Georgie's obviously, apparently, just from the way the statements are being, the way the statements look, is not as serious as that. But it could be something that means maybe 2 games, maybe 4 games, maybe 3 games. It's that kind of thing with hamstrings, and you just have to rest them. There's not really much you can do. I mean, I think the physios will probably be able to do 1 or 2 things to help him with the hamstring, keep it loose. But other than doing the massaging for hamstrings that you would do if you're a physio, there's really not much else you can really do with that. So he's going to have to rest. He's going to have to drink plenty of fluids. And he'll test the hamstring, I'm sure, after a day or 2 and see what he can do on it. But if he can't do very much, he's going to have to shelve it for a game or 2. This is probably something that you're talking maybe a couple of games out. It's been a busy period of football. And, this time of year is where you do get the injuries, or you see a lot of them. You can get injury anytime, but you do see a lot of injuries around this time after that busy festive period that every team, every club goes through at this time of year. So we just hope that Georgie can get back as soon as possible. If he gets back in the next 2 or 3 games, I think that'd be really good. For a hamstring situation, we don't know how severe it is. We don't know how long he'll be out for. I don't think it's severe, judging from what the statement says from Tom Cleverley, but it could be something that we're talking 2 games, talking 3 games, perhaps. It could be something like that. Those things are very tricky, but who knows? It might come back next game. But we'll see about that. But today's game is an important game, as is every game now. If Watford want to get back into the running, and they are in the running, but if they want to stay close to the playoffs, Archie Wright has joined us on Instagram. They will want to get going today against the Derby County side that are in the bottom 6 or 7 of the table. Derby County, as you know, are a team who have not had a great season so far. They are languishing now in the bottom 7 of the table on 27 points. They've lost their last 3 games in a row. So, that gives you an idea about how they're doing. They are a team that struggles. But Derby at home are always a test. They've given some teams tough times. They've done really well, fairly well against the big boys. They beat West Bromwich Albion, who were up there in the table, beat them 2-0 a few weeks ago. They gave Leeds a tough fight until Leeds finally beat them at Pride Park. So at Pride Park, Derby can be tricky. And so we'll see how Watford react to all of the shenanigans that you can expect, the things that they will be facing out there. Watford now are in 8th. They're 3 points off the playoffs. They are in 8th on 38 points. They ended that 3-game losing streak in the midweek with a draw at Cardiff, having played poorly in that game, but got a late goal from Vakun Bayo, courtesy of Quadwo Bar, who got a really nice assist and a great header into an open net for Vakunbayo, his 10th of the season, and that gave Watford a share of the points the last time out. And I said at the time on X, I didn't do any post-match on Instagram or YouTube, but I will be doing that today. Midweek's going to be more difficult to do these post-matches on YouTube and Instagram, but right now, certainly we'll be doing that on the weekend games. But as far as Watford are concerned, after the game against Cardiff, I had said that this shows you some good fighting spirit and character. At least what Watford did was to pick up a point. And even though they didn't play well and they probably deserved to lose the game against Cardiff, they picked up a point, and that is very important. Keith Merriweather, hello to you. I hope you're doing well there on Instagram. Thank you, Keith, for joining us here on You ORNS pre-match. Thank you for that, Keith. Great to see you there as well. Thank you very much. But Watford picked up an important point in the midweek, and it's good to pick up a point when you don't play well. And I think Cardiff probably felt like they lost that game on Tuesday night. But Watford, I thought, after playing Cardiff just, 15 days earlier than that and losing their unbeaten home record to them, I thought did well the final 15 minutes of the game. And we really want to see that carry over now to the game against Derby County today. I really do hope that Watford can do that. But this lineup is an exciting lineup. I like it. You've got TDB in the midfield. You've got Loser in the midfield. He's back. It looked as if he was going to be iffy, but thank goodness he got back in time, was fit in time to make this lineup, to make the start, which I'm really excited about. Sissoko on the bench today, which I think is a good thing. Also, it's great to see that you've got players coming back. George is the only player, I think, of major consequence that we have not got at the minute. But I am really excited about the lineup. It's exciting to see TDB back in the starting 11. Welcome back, TDB. It's very important to see him back in the lineup after he's been out, as I said, for as long as he's been out for. So I'm excited to see him, wishing him really well. You've got Ngakia, of course, in the lineup as well. Terrific from him. I'm really, really pleased about that. James Abankwah is in the lineup. How about that? James Abankwah, who we got from Udinese in midweek, joins us to start straight away in the defense. I'm really pleased about that. So James Abankwah, who of course is on loan with us now from Udinese, is immediately straight into the fray in the defense. I think he's going to be a very important presence for us, gives us a bit more vigor in the defense. I think we've been quite ponderous in defense. We've obviously not had a very good time of it during the last month or so defensively, and during the season it's been difficult at times. But I'm very, very pleased that he starts, and it's good to see that Porteous is on the bench as well. There were all kinds of rumors about Ryan Porteous. Is he going to stay? Is he going to go? At the moment, who knows? The manager wants him to stay, but I don't think there's any secret that his play has been poor, and I don't think there's any secret that he probably wants out at Watford as well. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I mean, there's been numerous reports here and there, but we will see about that. But I'm very pleased that James Abankwah is in the starting lineup for us. He's from the Republic of Ireland. He currently plays with Udinese, and he will help us immensely in this loan spell. So great to see him, and I'm excited about that. Excited about TDB returning. Ido Kayembe starts as well in the lineup. Ido Kayembe has not been particularly great over the last couple of months for us, and that needs to change. He has scored goals, but his play overall has not been very good. I would love to see an improvement from Ido Kayembe today. Caden Robbs has joined us. Caden, it's great to see you. Happy New Year. It's been a long time. It's great to see you here, Caden. Thank you very much indeed to see you. It's good to see you here, and I hope you're well also. So we have I think we do have some really good players in this team. Matty Pollock deputizes. He will be captain today. Nice to see Matty Pollock get the captain's armband. Really good, and Loser in the lineup. So look, there's some good things here. And Larousse drops to the bench along with Sissoko and Porteous as well. And George is the only one that we really I think might miss today. We've got to see who will be giving us those kinds of marauding runs through the middle of the pitch. Who is going to be that person? I think you're going to see maybe TDB perhaps play an advanced role, or you might see Loser play that advanced role. Someone's going to play an advanced role in that midfield because Sissoko probably would have been that person. But since he's on the bench, that's not going to be happening, at least straight away. So I'd love to see who plays the advanced role. Of course, Quadro Bar will be in that front line as well. He'll be on that right-hand side. Rocco Vata will be on that left-hand side. And of course, up top will be Vakun Bio, who has scored the 10 goals this season. And I think Bio's had a good return. You know, he's missed some games. To score 10 goals in 26, having missed a few of those 26, not bad. Not bad. I think that's a good return. So I hope that Bio continues that run. Caden Robb says, just popping in to say, hey, got an academy game in an hour for TNS in they're in the conference league. Oh, okay. Well, Caden, best of luck there. TNS, I don't know who TNS are. If you can explain that to us. But Caden, best of luck today in the academy game. I'm really hoping that you all do very well and that you do very well today and you get a win in the conference league today, Caden. Thank you very much for that message, Caden. Thank you. Thank you. All the very best to you in the academy there in the conference league. Thanks, Caden, for dropping by and saying hello. You are watching You ORNS Watford FC pre-match here on Instagram and on YouTube. You can follow along at You ORNS WFC on both YouTube and on Instagram. We're watching this on the pre-match. And of course on X, where we do the post-match at You ORNS WFC there as well. Subscribe and like the videos on You ORNS WFC on YouTube. Would be great to have you aboard there. Thank you for coming in, fellow Watford supporters. We are just over half an hour away from the match between Derby County and Watford at Pride Park. Watford are away from home. They will be wearing their yellow kits today. They wore their black kits on Tuesday, and usually Watford lose every time they wear their black kit or their purple kit. But for the first time this season, Watford wore their black kit and did not lose. That's a really good thing. And of course, we had one or two occasions, I think, where we wore them the purple kit, where we actually picked up a point. And one of those was against Hull City, as I remember it. That may be the only time that we've worn the purple kit this season and not lost in that. So both of these away kits, these third kits that we've worn this season, have not been particularly fortunate for us. We've not prospered very well in the black or the purple kit. But there we go. We got a point in the black kit. That's a good thing. My goodness me, is starting to say, would we ever get any points wearing that kit either? So we finally did get one. But we have been able to win away from home in the yellow kit. And let's hope that we do that again today. What do you think the score will be today? I'm going for another draw. I think it's going to be another 1-1 draw. So we'll go with Derby. That's my prediction. Derby 1, Watford 1. Watford just need to pick up some confidence away from home. And it starts with picking up points, even if you don't win. Confidence is everything. And Caden Robbs, who is on Instagram, explains this. I'm not in the Conference League. The main team is. It's the league under Europa League with teams as Newcastle and Aston Villa and Fiorentina, etc. TNS are the best team in the Welsh League. We have won. Thank you for explaining that, Caden Robbs. Caden, thank you for that, because I wasn't quite sure. But I'm glad that you've explained it. TNS are the best team in the Welsh League. We have won. I see. Okay, that is really, really good to know. The league under the Europa League. Thank you very much indeed for explaining that, Caden. And again, best of luck to you today in that game for TNS. And then the Welsh League, Caden, pardon me, Caden, you have explained this to us. In the Welsh League, they have won. Your team has won the last 19 league titles. That's fascinating. That's excellent stuff, Caden. So they dominate Welsh football in that Welsh League. That's really great. Dominating football, and very pleased. I hope that you will make it 20 league titles in a row. That's an outstanding achievement and accomplishment. And again, best to you there, Caden, today. Jack Boddington has joined us from down under. Nice to see you, Jack, where, of course, the Australian Open is heading underway at this time. It's 10 o'clock there now, I think, close to 10 o'clock at night there, maybe 9:30 in the nighttime there in Australia, late on Saturday night. Jack, I do hope that you're well. Thank you for joining us here on YOU ORNS Watford FC pre-match. We're just under half an hour away from Derby County versus Watford at Pride Park. And of course, you can join us live on both YouTube and on Instagram. It is a great pleasure to have you aboard here. Watford today, as I was saying, have a pretty good lineup today. Jack Boddington, by the way, says, hello, Omar, enjoying my Australian Open. How are you? Jack, I am very well. It's great to see you. And in fact, before I started the pre-match today, I played a song from the Rolling Stones, Jumpin' Jack Flash. Oh, yes, that might be a nickname for you, Jack. Late at night, getting ready for Watford. And I was going to sing a few bars of that song, Jack, but I don't think I'm going to do that and wake the neighbors up here early in the morning here in San Francisco, California. Great to see you, Jack, down under. I'm glad to know that you are enjoying the Australian Open. I've yet to watch any of it yet. You know, I know it comes over here around 9, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. But today, you know, we'll see. I'll maybe be able to get some of that in tonight, but maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But the Australian Open is always a good one to start the tennis year with. So, Jack, thank you for that. The Watford Way says this on YouTube. Hey, Omar, a belated Happy New Year from me. Happy New Year to you. A belated Happy New Year to you as well from me. Watford Way, I do hope that you are enjoying your 2025 so far. Watford have, for the first time in 2025, got some points in the bag and in the bank. That point that they got against Cardiff at midweek was the first points of this new year for the Golden Boys. We'll try to improve on that today at Pride Park. What is your prediction, Watford Way? I'm going with a 1-1 draw today between Derby and Watford. Listen, it's always very challenging to go to Pride Park. Watford have had some success there from time to time, but you know, Derby, even though the bottom 7 team in the bottom 7, a team in the bottom 7 are pretty darn good at home. They've actually given a good fight against some of these bigger teams like a West Bromwich Albion, like, you know, teams a bit above them, I should say, in the table is probably more accurate to say. They gave Leeds a hard time for a long time before Leeds ended up beating Derby County late on in that game. So they might be very interesting. We'll see. Watford Way says 2-0. Always the optimist to me. Yes, optimism is a good thing. And so the Watford Way on YouTube has gone with a Derby County 0, Watford 2. I would love to see that come through for you, Watford Way, and hopefully at the end of the game, your prediction will be proven correct. I would love that. We need a win in the longest desperate way. We've not won a game since the Portsmouth game, and that was, believe it or not, was back, I think, on when was that? That was on the 21st, perhaps, maybe a bit later than that, of December. So we're talking at least 3 weeks since we won a game. Boxing Day, of course, we lost the game to Cardiff. But I think that game was, on the 21st of December. So we're now talking almost a full month since Watford last won a game. So we'll see if you're correct, Watford Way, and it's great to see you. Thank you very much indeed. Maybe, says Jack Boddington on Instagram, we can have a Rolling Stones rendition if we win today. Yeah, I might do that, Jack. That's a good idea. I was actually thinking that as well before I saw your comment. I was thinking, you know, maybe if we get that win today, I might go do a jumping jack flash. Yeah, I might do that. I was actually singing it fairly loudly here, not too loud, but quite audibly before I started this live this afternoon, or I should say this morning, if you're here in San Francisco, where it is cold with a capital K. A capital C, of course. I'm just joking around there. It's cold out here, but it's cold all over the country, and I'm sure it's cold in a load of other places around the world. With all of this climate change and all this stuff, it just gets to be really, really, really rough. And I'm sure it's cold wherever you might be in England as well, in the United Kingdom. And I want to say something really quickly. Actually, I want to just spare a moment for people in Los Angeles, and not just in Los Angeles, anywhere across the world where there have been natural disasters. I do hope that wherever you are in the world, that you are safe and you are in good shape. You know, we in Los Angeles, which is 400 miles south of here. As you probably know by now, a lot of people have lost their lives and lost their homes, and it's just been a really horrible time. I personally know someone who lost their home, and she sent me the photographs of what her home looks like now. And it's just devastating. And you've seen all the photographs, you've seen all the video. It's really horrible. Australia has had a lot of these fires as well, wildfires. We've seen these fires in Hawaii. We've seen these fires all over the globe, and it's just very devastating. So I just want to just spare a moment for those folks, not just in Los Angeles or in the Southern California area, but anywhere across the world who have really been affected by these natural disasters. And so I just want to spare a moment for those people across the globe, whether they're in Southern California or whether they're in your neck of the woods or anywhere else, who have really had some really rough times with that. And we wish all of the people in Southern California and across the world who have had some kind of natural disaster or some kind of tragedy of any kind for that matter. I wish you all very well indeed, wherever you are in the world with that. So I do want to say that very quickly, sparing a thought for those individuals across the world who have been affected by a tragedy of any kind, whether it's a natural disaster or something else. I want to say to you, I do wish you all the very, very best around that. So we are now just over 20 minutes away from the match between Derby County and Watford. Derby playing at Pride Park as they do in the bottom seven. Watford in the top eight. They are eighth, just 3 points off the playoffs. It would be very good if Watford can get a win today, because it would really bring them back into the conversation about the playoffs. It's important that Watford gain some momentum off of what they did in the last 15 minutes against Cardiff and bring that forward into the game and finish with a result today, a positive result that can get us really back into the mix. We lost our way over those last 5 weeks, those last 5 games. And we need to pick ourselves back up again and dust ourselves off. And in some ways, we did that in the final 10 or 15 minutes of the game on Tuesday. But we need to really do that again and bring that last 10 minutes into the start of these games. I think the most important thing is that Watford bring themselves to start these games better. Watford Way says, when do you next plan on coming to Vicarage Road? That is a great question. I've been looking to try to do it this season. I can't guarantee that. Probably this season or next. I mean, there's still lots of games to play this season. I would love to be able to get to Vicarage Road before the season ends. But nothing is set in stone at the moment. If it isn't this season, it will definitely be next. That I can tell you for sure. So thank you for asking about that Watford Way. I would like to do it this season. I'm trying to make that happen. It can be very difficult to do that because with work and everything else, you got to do this, you got to do that. It's just, you got to just, plan just like anyone else, when you're, you got to, whether you're working or not. I mean, it's just, you've got to really plan the dates right. You got to get the logistics correct. It's so interesting. As you get older, I just find it just becomes much more of a drain to actually do that. Listen, I'm excited to be doing something like that because I would love to head back to my native country and see this Golden Boy team that we love. But just the planning and just listen, that's not an excuse. But Watford Way, all of that is to tell you that I definitely am looking to do that this season. And if not this season, definitely next season for sure. If this season doesn't work, but I will definitely. I tell you what, I'll tell you this for nothing. If I will definitely let you know one way or another in due course should this happen this season. So thank you there, Watford Way, for the question. I hope I've answered it to some degree of satisfaction for you and anyone else who is watching here. Good to hear, says Watford Way. Yeah, I'm definitely looking to do this, and I will let you know as well. All Watford supporters who follow me here, I will be letting you know about that one way or another. But nothing set in stone for now, and no guarantees on that just yet. I will keep you all posted. Thank you very much, Watford Way. And Jack Bonington says, terrible to see these natural disasters in California. From having experienced a close call back in 2020, it's horrible. Yes, Jack, it is. It's really horrible. Football is something that we all love, and we love our team. When these natural disasters happen or any life event happens, it does put everything in perspective really quickly. You know, it really does. And watching what's happening in this state here in California, 400 miles south of here, and knowing people personally, knowing someone personally who's lost their home, it really does actually affect you deeply. It affects you more deeply than you might know. Even if you personally haven't lost your home, um, it's very difficult. And, it really, really is. And, yeah, it's very, very sad. People who've lost their homes, as I told you earlier, seeing the actual photo. It's one thing to see them on TV, and it's still stunning. It's really stunning to see this on the video on TV of all of this. But when someone you know sends you the photographs of their own home that's no longer there, it's just something that it does something to you. So, Jack, and then you talked about having a close call yourself. Yeah, because there were those fires back in 2020 in Australia that when I mentioned that, when I said that earlier about the fires in Australia, yeah, those fires in Australia, they did some real damage, real damage. I mean, and of course, remember, and I don't want to really wander into politics here, but I think it was your prime minister, as in Malcolm Turnbull, who, or someone like that, who was away in Hawaii having the time of his life while Australia was burning. Again, I don't want to go into politics at all, really. But I remember that, and that was, and he had these pictures. He was smiling and having fun back home. People down under were losing their houses and losing their lives. So yeah, it was horrible, and it is horrible. So Jack, thank you for talking about that and mentioning that, because yeah, Australia, that was a really, really, anyway, you understand that, and so does everybody watching. So yeah, again, I want to just reiterate my thoughts with the people who have lost everything, including people who've lost their lives and loved ones who've lost people, who've lost people in these fires and any disaster across the world. So thank you for that, Jack. And as you point out, on a lighter note, predictions for this game, Omar. Well, Jack, before you came in, I predicted it would be a 1-1 draw. Derby County 1, Watford 1. The same prediction I actually had for, actually, it's not the same prediction. I had a Watford, I think Watford 2, Derby 0, when they played at Vicarage Road back in September, I think it was. And it ended up being a 2-1 scoreline for Watford. I'm not sure. Maybe I predicted the score correct, but I did predict a Watford win in the game when Watford and Derby played at the Vic. If you remember that back in September, Watford went behind to an early Derby goal, but Bayer scored a tremendously great goal to equalize in the first half. And then in the second half, I think I had a TDB scored from the penalty spot, or someone else scored to give Watford a win, a 2-1 victory. But I think this is going to be a 1-1 draw again. From the previous game when we played Cardiff, I think Watford in this particular game are going to have to play better. Obviously, it's how we, and I was saying this before, I got sidetracked a bit. Watford are going to have to start these games a whole lot better. If they're going to have wins away from home at all, Watford are going to have to start the games better. If they're going to get any kind of result that sees a point or more, Watford are going to have to start these games better. They're going to have to score first in these games. Watford, in a lot of these games, even the ones they have won, have had to come from behind over and over and over and over again. And that simply is not going to be something that's going to give you a winning formula. It's just not going to. Watford have to get in front in these games. And having gone in front, Watford are going to have to build on that and add a second goal. And the defending, which I thought was a lot better against Cardiff, is going to have to continue that way. We kept a clean sheet for the first half of the game against Cardiff. But then ran into trouble in that 65th minute. But our defense was pretty darn solid throughout that game, despite conceding And once we conceded, I thought we actually did well in our defense. But we need to defend from the start better. And if we can go again, if we can keep a clean sheet in the first half and then build on that and keep one in the second half of the game, yeah, we're going to have a really good chance to pick up 3 points. But we will see about how we go today. I'm going, says Jack Boddington on Instagram, for 2-1, for a 2-1 win today. Always optimistic with the laughing emoji. Yeah, we'll see. I do hope. And I'm an optimistic person as well by nature, but I'm also realistic about the way Watford have played these last 5 or 6 or 7 games, and they've gone behind in almost every one of them. And I think in nearly every game in these last 6 or 7, Watford have gone behind. And they went behind in the Portsmouth game that they won. The one game that they won, they went behind in. So, every game it seems that Watford have played, they've gone behind. Every single one. QPR, Cardiff, Sheffield United, Portsmouth, Burnley, all of those games, they've gone behind in every last one. So, that's my only thing that Jack, I'm really concerned about. Will Watford score first today? I hope they do. And I hope having scored first, we do get a platform to get 3 points. But my prediction is 1-1. We've had some positive predictions that have Watford getting all 3 points. Jack Boddington, thank you for yours. You say 2-1 today. Derby 1, Watford 2. And on the YouTube channel, it is a 2-0 win. Derby 0, Watford 2 for the Watford way. We'll see how this shakes out today. I'm pleased with the lineup. James Abankwah, one last thing. It's great to see this young lad in the lineup. He looks like he's got something about him. Tom Cleverley is very high on James Abankwah, who's come in from Udinese on loan for the rest of this season. He's a young lad who I think is 19 or 20 years old, 21, whatever his age is. He is very much the kind of defender that I think Tom Cleverley is excited about. Obviously, he is. He's put him straight into the starting lineup and Porteous on the bench. I mean, I think that's really good to see the confidence that Clevs has in this lad. He knows the fundamentals and basics of defending. That was a paraphrase of something that Tom Cleverley said in the midweek. And I thought that was really good. He knows about the basics of defending, the art of defending. And I kind of think that comment has a kind of tongue-in-cheek quality to it, because there are some players, Porteous, who aren't very well versed, or who lately have not been very versed on the art of defending. Joe Larkin, hello to you on YouTube. Good to see you. Excuse me, on Instagram. Good to see you there. Hello to you. James Abankwah, I think, is going to make a difference today. He's younger, sharper. He obviously has some good nous in defense. And when a manager throws you straight into a starting lineup, that's a good thing. And it's not because we're thin on defenders. We've got a number of defenders, right? But it's good to see that you've got a lineup like this. Says you odds. Joe Larkin says thoughts on the lineup. And as I say, just as you asked that question, I've just been talking about the lineup, and I like this lineup a lot. I think this lineup's got a lot more energy in it. When you take out Porteous, Georgie obviously is out, so that's going to be a factor. Obviously, that's why I'm going for a 1-1 draw in part. But when you have a younger lineup like this lineup's a younger lineup. You got Loser. It's very important to have Loser back in that lineup. He did start the last game as well, but there were some rumors and thoughts that he might not make the starting lineup today, but I'm glad he has. TDB returns. I'm really happy about that. A round of applause for the returning TDB. Great to see him back after 3 months out. That's right, 3 whole months. I think it was October 18th or 19th was the last time that TDB played for Watford. Of course, he had the injury, the knee issues, and he is back to start the game. Almost exactly 3 months later. Great to see TDB back. I'm very excited about the lineup. Shot in the arm. And Jack agrees with me. I'm so pleased to have TDB back. He says that on Instagram. I think that Georgie out is a very strange decision. I think no Georgie is a very strange decision. That's from Joe Larkin. Joe, I will say to you this. The reason why Georgie is out, he has a hamstring issue. Just to let you know, in case you were not aware of that, Georgie is out due to a hamstring issue. So that is the news. Tom Cleverley made the statement that was released today, and he said that it's a slight hamstring issue that Georgie has. They're hoping to get him back and that he won't be out for too long. And I was saying before you came in, you're welcome, Joe. Joe says he didn't know that. Cheers. Yep. No, no problem there, Joe. Not we don't all have the information. It happens, not a problem at all. But the bottom line is that he is out today due to a hamstring issue. Clevs is optimistic. It's not too bad, apparently, according to Clevs, who made the statement that you can find on the Watford social channels. He also expressed confidence that he'd be back maybe in the next game, perhaps, hopefully, or maybe not. We'll see. He didn't give actually a specific game. Tom Cleverley said, we'll see when we can have him back. And he left the door open. And as I was saying before you came in, Joe, hamstrings are a tricky thing. Hamstring issues, it could be one game. It could be he'll be back next game, perhaps, or it could be a hamstring issue where you have to see, you just have to wait to see it play out. It could be 3 games. We don't know. Nobody knows. Georgie doesn't know for a fact yet. Obviously, I'm sure he doesn't know. So hamstrings, as you know, are tricky. If you've had a hamstring injury, and I've had several of them, being an athletic person as I am, they can take a long time, and it depends on your age as well. And I'm quite a bit older than Georgie, and when I had my hamstring issues, it took me 3.5 weeks. It took me about a month before I got back. And sometimes it can take a younger player who plays football, who plays any kind of sport, or whether you're not playing sport at all, it takes a younger person typically a quicker recovery time than it does someone who's older. So Georgie, depending on the extent of the hamstring issue, it might be 1 game out like today, and he might be back the next game, or it could be 2 or 3 games. Clevs has said that the injury is not serious. The issue is not a serious one, which is really good. They've done tests, apparently, I think, and the injury isn't serious. So that's a good thing. So this thing could be 1 game today, could be maybe 2 games, but whatever the amount of games it is, he just has to rest the hamstring. And the physio will do some hamstring maneuvers, we'll do exercises around the hamstring, but not really a whole lot you can do but rest it. Hello there, Elliot. Good to see you. Elliot Birdie has joined us just a few minutes before kickoff. So the issue with the hamstring, you just have to rest it. We'll have to see about it. Jack Boddington has said this on Instagram. I got over my hamstring in about a month last year, but people are different. All I can say is we shouldn't rush it. That's a really good comment. That's I haven't really done this so far this season. I've only done it in post matches, but I'll give out a YOU ORNS pre-match comment of the day, and that's coming from Jack Boddington in Australia. I think that's a really good one, Jack. I got over my hamstring in about a year, Jack, in about a month last year, Jack said, but people are different, and all I can say is we shouldn't rush it. Yep, that is the YOU ORNS pre-match comment of the day. Thank you, Jack, for that. And I think it's a really wise comment because we can't rush these things. Everyone is different. And so it took you about a month last year. It took me about a month when I last had a hamstring injury. In fact, the 3 hamstring injuries I had, they all were about a month. And, I'm an older person, quite a bit older than Georgie is. And it took me a month. And as you said, you got over yours in about a month. And everyone's different. And even whether you're younger or older, it can still take a month. Look at Bukayo Saka at Arsenal. He's out for months with his. His was very serious though, and he had an operation. So his is out. He's out months at Arsenal. So it really, and he's a young lad. He's only like 20 years old. Saka's 20, 21, 22. So it don't matter how old you are. Quite frankly, if you get a hamstring thing, it could be a week, 2 weeks, to months and months out. Like Saka, he's not coming back for months for Arsenal. So it ranges, right? So we hope that Georgie gets back. But as you said, Jack, you can't rush these things. With hamstrings, you just have to rest them. You have to rest them. You have to drink plenty of fluids and just rest your hamstring. And then the physios will do what they do. They'll do muscle exercises. They'll do muscle massages and stuff like that for him, I'm sure. but he's just got to rest. Look, he's played a lot of football. He's played international. I think Tom cleverly in his statement alluded to that. He's played international games. He's started every game this season for Watford. And then that festive period where you're playing, what, 4 or 5 games? It's a rough situation. You're going to have injuries. And Watford, quite frankly, have been fortunate that they've not had a lot of injuries from the festive period, and we're getting players back. So we're really fortunate with that. We were not fortunate in that all of last season where we just got killed with injuries. But this season, I think considering everything, we've been fortunate to get back players and not have too many injury concerns. Joe says, see you after the game, Omar. I'm hoping for a 3-1 win. Thank you, Joe, for that. And with Joe's comment, we're going to end it here. We're going to end it here on this edition of the YOU ORNS Watford FC pre-match. Please join us after the contest on YouTube and on Instagram. We'll be back on YouTube immediately after the game. We'll be back on Instagram maybe about 20 minutes after the game or so. So please stick with us. I know we don't go immediately. I'm trying to change that so that we can have you on Instagram in immediately after the game is over and we talk about this game. So Derby County against Watford. Thank you very much indeed for watching. Enjoy the game, everyone. We'll see you after the game here on YOU ORNS WFC on Instagram and here on YouTube as well. Please subscribe to the YOU ORNS WFC YouTube channel. Jack Boddington says, cheers, Omar. Enjoy the game. YOU ORNS. Indeed, Jack, you too. Take care. We'll be back after the game. And until then, I'm Omar saying, YOU ORNS. Enjoy the game, everyone. See you afterwards. Be well and take care.